Hello, hello. Welcome to Beautiful Minds Podcast. My name is Jamie Taylor, and I am a licensed professional counselor who has been in practice for the last 7 years and my own private practice for the last 3 years. In my experience, I have worked with children, adolescents, and now exclusively adults. I treat all mental health disorders and can help with all life stressors, even if you don't have a diagnosed mental health disorder. My niche specialty, however, is in eating disorders, but please know, therapy isn't helpful just when you feel like something is wrong. It's also helpful to just simply improve on self-awareness. With that being said, this series consists of daily talks surrounding mental health and more. Again, as a licensed professional counselor of color with a niche specialty in eating disorders, I tend to bring a unique lens and level of expertise to conversations regarding mental health and self-care practices. These conversations are not limited just to those of mental health, as we explore aspects of our everyday lives as wives, husbands, partners, mothers, fathers, parents, human beings, and more. We have guests of all backgrounds who aren't afraid to explore and candidly discuss difficult, taboo, and even controversial topics. All perspectives are welcome, as all perspectives come from unique and beautiful minds. Topics range anywhere from art, music, to culture, sexuality, religion, spirituality, and more. This is a safe space to explore the ins and outs of each and every beautiful mind we have the privilege to connect with. This podcast is produced by Copic. Please tune into our YouTube channel, which you can see below, to catch our latest episode. And please check out our social media pages to stay up to date. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Hello, hello. Welcome to Beautiful Minds Podcast. My name is Jamie Taylor. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I work with adults only, although I have worked with children from 4 to 17. But again, we're here today for Beautiful Minds Podcast series. We're here talking with Copic. Yes, I'm excited. So now you guys get to have a brief glimpse, a brief appearance in terms of who's behind the name of production. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves if you don't mind?
Well, I'm Kim, and I go by the name of DJ Chemistry, one half of Copic.
I'm Octavio, and on the other half, I go by the name of DJ Blanco, other half of Copic.
And so together, we're Copic, and we do AV services for small to mid-size events. So if you're looking for a DJ or maybe podcast or YouTube channel production, or maybe creating music for to be included in your projects, definitely reach out to us, and we hope that we can, work something out.
Awesome. Yes, so today we're going to talk about a few topics, just some things that might be close to heart, and just explore that a little bit. I might drop just a couple of therapy tidbits, maybe not. So first thing that I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about is, how did you guys get into production, music? How did you guys get here, and what was that journey like?
I think it's been a long journey, wouldn't you say? I mean, it
just didn't happen overnight. We've been at it for a while, and
secretly, I think.
Yeah.
I think for a while, if we had to say maybe 15 years, maybe even 20 years, dibble-dabbling into making beats from Fruity Loops to then evolving into some videography. But we are currently audio engineers. We do live mixing for different events, and it's evolved over time.
Yeah, okay. Some of you guys may know Kim is my best friend, so we go way back. I remember the Fruity Loops days. I remember you sitting at the computer in your sister's room making beats and stuff. Is that where it started for you?
I think I guess in terms of the passion that I have for it, and then actually making a project out of it, I guess that's probably where it started way back in high school. And then I think meeting Octavio and letting him know, what I can do in Fruity Loops. Would you say that's about where you kind of started for you?
Yeah, that's accurate. Not to knock on Fruity Loops. Fruity Loops still goes pretty good right now. Updates.
You could do some things on Fruity Loops.
Okay.
But as far as, yes, that's correct. That caught an interest in me. As far as myself, I think I go back to my childhood.
Wow.
With my parents and installed that music in me.
Really?
I play by ear.
Okay.
As a kid, so if my dad's watching, he used to call me the Little Mozart.
I did not know that.
Little Mozart. Yeah, I used to just play off by ear, first try and second try, any song.
Play what?
Any song.
On what?
Piano, saxophone,
wow.
any instrument throw at me, I'll figure it out. And whether it was tuned or not tuned, I'll put it tuned
cool.
to make it sound right. But yeah, as an adult, Kim, she introduced me to Fruity Loops.
Right.
Making beats was not in my head. It wasn't even
wow,
that I thought.
Really?
I just like playing music because it made me feel good.
Got it.
And that took me into another level of just experimenting with music and just using my imagination on creating beats per se. And yeah, we locked in that aspect.
That's really cool. Okay. I know some of the songs, you guys will probably never hear them, but I've been on a couple.
You never know.
Been on a couple myself. But that's actually cool. I didn't know that that's how that transpired, even between the two of you. I had no idea that you didn't start off with Fruity Loops and making beats and stuff like that too. So pretty cool to hear. Okay. All right. So tell me, was the journey hard? Because I know you guys have day jobs, right? So how did you guys include creativity into your professional life? What does that look like? What did that look like?
I think that it's important because creativity ranks very high on what I value. Do you want to insert?
Insert. The values exploration is kind of an activity that I like to do with a lot of my friends, loved ones, to gain an understanding of what your core values are.
And after completing said values test, I realized that creativity ranks very high on my list. And it makes sense because if I look back to when we were making Fruity Loops and working jobs, it was like a secret thing that we did. Only our close friends really kind of got to see the projects and products that we would create. And so, but it was like this burning desire within us that it would come in waves, It was like we were feeling inspired. And for those that maybe like to write books or poetry or whatever, when you're in the zone, you start, cranking stuff out. And so that's how it was with us. When we would get inspired, we would go to music.
Okay. Did you guys ever have anyone judge you guys for this alignment, in terms of having cliche, status quo types of jobs or professions? Did you guys ever have to deal with any kind of judgment for going this route?
I would say me, and not for me.
Okay.
I haven't been judged as far as that. I don't know why, but maybe because let's just say I was in that field, in the industry. I went to school.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging with other musicians, beat makers.
Nice.
So I was in that world. So I'm not being judged because I'm not outside of that world. So I'm in the world. So we're just boosting each other up, and so I can't say that happens to me. But
what about you?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say judged per se. I think I just lacked the confidence in following through. And it is a male-driven industry, right? If we're being honest. But for me, as I have been through this journey, not having representation, so I just felt like it was. And then my parents, just the upbringing that I had, like with many others, I'm sure, it was go to college, get maybe a certain type of degree.
Right.
And audio engineering just wasn't one of those options.
Got it.
But I, behind the scenes, have been at it, even pushing DJ Blanco to pursue it you know, through a certification or through the educational routes,
Right.
but not myself.
That's interesting.
And so it just seems like, even though I've been at it behind the scenes, I went to school for something totally different.
Right.
There was no representation. There wasn't judgment, but there just wasn't confidence.
Got it. How do you guys both feel like being a part of the representation now?
I think we're a dynamic duo.
Married couple at that, though. I wonder
Yeah.
if you see that type of thing in the industry.
Yeah, I know. Put in the comments if you are a married couple.
Right. A color, you know.
It's rare. I don't see it. I don't see it much. I mean, maybe
That's
there
cool.
is out there.
Maybe.
If maybe they're not putting themselves out there like they should, but it's rare.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're in there.
Got it. What would you guys say to people who are, you know, lacking confidence, maybe fearful, maybe in similar positions that you guys found yourself in, whether it's starting off professionally when it comes to education in the field, or having a totally different route, but still feeling this burning desire to water the creativity and the creative aspects of them? What would you say to those people who are struggling to get going?
I would say find you a group of likewise people like yourself to boost your confidence. That way you can talk to each other, encourage each other. That way you don't have anybody, you know, thinking no one is looking down upon what your thoughts is, and that right itself will get you along, you know, further than what you thought.
Cool.
I think that's a great answer. Because if you're around like-minded people, you're kind of
Right.
in that bubble, you're inspired, you're bouncing ideas off of each other, versus if you're not, and then you kind of maybe could start having doubts of, is this really what I'm supposed to do?
Right.
Maybe I'm not good at this. So that's a great answer. I would just say, if you feel that burning desire,
Right.
just to go for it. Like, just still keep at it.
Yeah.
If you're working your day job or whatever it is you're also doing, until things start to, you know, start to develop even more on that end, just
Right.
keep at it. Don't suppress it. And I feel like that's something that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just encourage others to just keep putting in the work.
Okay. Little.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can't find meaning in life when you use the gift God gave you.
All right.
All right.
And just to drop a little therapy tidbit, what I hear you guys also saying is, don't be afraid of the discomfort. If you guys, people who have seen me for therapy, I say this all the time, an awareness plus a willingness to be uncomfortable is what equals change. So once you're aware of what your core values are, whether or not you're in line, in order to get to your value zone from your comfort zone, you've got to be uncomfortable. You have to have that willingness. It's a part of change. There's no way around it, right? So that's what I hear you guys saying. But
Oh, yeah,
again,
I would agree.
got it. All right, I'm excited. Thank you guys for coming from behind the camera.
Thanks for
Showed-
having
of
us.
course.
And if you too are looking
Right?
for podcast production or YouTube channels and developments, and you're also in the Houston area, please reach out to us, Copic Event Services on Instagram. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Awesome. So that wraps up this episode of Beautiful Minds. Again, thank you guys for coming, and we will see you next time.